Hey YouTube, I'm Nathan. Welcome to the first episode of Nathan's Supra. On this channel, I'm going to be going over everything that I do with my car. It's a '87 Supra. It's got a 7M GTE in it and a 5-speed manual transmission. And you know, there are definitely several channels that have gone over stuff with this car before. But most of them aren't really active anymore. You know, I see Billy Built has been pretty active, and LAF TV did just post a new video, but overall, a lot of the channels haven't really been active in several years, and so I thought, hey, maybe somebody out there is interested in, you know, watching a guy mess around with his Supra some. So a little bit about me. I am a Christian college minister. That's my day job. I work on college campuses, and so it's not particularly lucrative. And you know, and so some of and as well with that, I'm also a father of 3 kids, and so between my family and the job I do, I'm limited on time as well as money, and so it'll be a bit of that perspective. Not saying other channels don't have that limit. I'm sure they do, but that's the particular limits that I have, and so yeah. So that's what this channel's take is going to be. You know, it'll be a lot of buying stuff secondhand off Facebook Marketplace, and you know, even possibly doing non-conventional repairs for certain things. Not everything, you know. I definitely have certain things that I need to fix it right, but there's some things that, you know, I may find some repairs for that are a little different. Yeah, and so this first video, I just wanted to you know, run through just like what I've done with my car so far. I've had it for about 6 months, and so yeah, this almost is like a video of all the things that I've done, but I don't have a video for. And so yeah, if there is something that somebody's like, hey, I could really use a video on that, let me know, and I can we could see. You know, I won't necessarily promise to you know, like drop my differential or something, but we could see. You know, I might be able to do something for you. And so yeah, and so what I've done with this car, so like I said, I bought it 6 months ago. First thing I did is all the things that you do when you buy a car this old. I changed the oil, I replaced all the brake pads, I replaced the brake hoses, at least the rear ones. I don't think I messed with the front ones as much because I'm wanting to just swap those at some point and put a big brake kit on it, on the fronts. I replaced the driver's side front caliper because it was bad. I replaced all the bleeder valves, and then I also flushed the brake fluid. And that's why I replaced all the bleeder valves, is because they were all rusted up and didn't turn well. I should probably pop the hood at some point because some of the things I did are under the hood. So I did drop the rear diff. Basically, I was kind of stupid and I drained the differential before I made sure that I could get the fill port off, and after I drained it, I realized I couldn't, so I had to drop the diff in order to get it off, and you know, I was able to clean it out pretty good, so that's nice. The biggest job I've done with this car is I replaced the gas tank. The guy I bought it from had told me that the last thing he did with the car was service the fuel system, and I believe him. Let's start off by saying I believe him. I don't think he was lying to me. It could be the last thing he did was a couple of years ago, because I know this car sat for a while. And so the second time I filled it up, I'm not sure why I didn't see it the first time, but the second time I filled it up, I get in and I realize I lost half the tank because of a fuel leak, and I saw the puddle and all that stuff. And so first time I was parking at a friend's house, and he had like a gravel driveway, so I could have just lost it in that way. And I think I assumed, oh, maybe I didn't fill it up all the way, and um, I had to replace the fuel tank. That ended up being a pretty big job. It took me a while, it's got a new tank in it, and I sealed the tank. So if this car goes for another 35 years, that thing will not leak, or it shouldn't. So yeah, so I did that. I replaced. I can't tell if you can see that blue hose. Yeah, this blue hose right here. It's the air intake hose. The old one, I think, is going to become a trophy for me. Somebody has repaired that multiple times. It was in rough shape. But yeah, so the old one was in rough shape, and I had to replace it. I don't love the one I put on there. It's silicone, and it has some kinks in it that are like, I might need to see if I can get another accordion style air intake hose at some point. I also replaced, let's see if you can see it, the fuel or the coolant hose that's right back here in the back of the car, right back in the back of the engine. That was a pain in the butt, just because of where it was, and it was causing me to lose quite a bit of coolant. It's like if I would drive it for more than like 20 minutes, the reservoir was empty, and it was giving me the birdcage light. And so yeah, I did that. I think that's all the major stuff I've done with it. Yeah, I've got a few things that I still need to do with it, and there'll be videos about that at some point here. But yeah, as well, I have an extra engine. Actually, I just stole that coolant hose I was telling you about from this engine, and it all kind of goes into it's all related to why I have this extra engine, and what I'm trying to kind of do with the car at the moment. So this summer, I have something coming up called a sabbatical. That's something that's pretty common for people in ministry to do, and it's the idea of it is that it's a summer that it just meant to be rest and recharge. When you're in ministry, your job never really stops, and you also have some very unique stressors that you deal with. And so I've seen where some pastors will do like 6 month sabbatical even. My org or my company allows me to do I think I'm doing a 2 month sabbatical this summer, and so my goals with that sabbatical are to grow close to Jesus and rebuild this engine. And so that's why I have an extra 7. This is a 7 MGT, just like mine. The guy who I got it from, he thought the head gasket was probably blown. He said that it was in a parts car that he received, and he never even tried turning it over. And so this spring I'm gonna take it apart and clean it, and I'll send the head and block to a machine shop to get decked, and I'll put an MLS gasket on it, so that I don't really have to worry about it, and I can turn it up and not worry about damaging the head gasket. That's a very common issue with these cars, is the head gaskets. They weren't torqued down enough from the factory. I've got ARP studs to put in there too. So this car actually, I believe it is running its original head gasket, and so that's really partly why I'm wanting to do that. I did early on, and I'm not sure if it was from the coolant leak. I don't think it was, but it could have been. But early on, I would turn it on, and I could see steam coming out. It does have an exhaust leak, and that's another thing that you'll probably see me doing a wrap on soon. But so it could have been from that exhaust leak, even, just the lighting isn't always great to be able to tell if it's steam or exhaust. But I actually put some coolant, some head gasket stop leak in there, and I know some of you are probably screaming about that. No, you shouldn't do that. Again, I need this car to last me, or I need the engine to last me until this summer, and then I'm gonna take it out and hopefully put this one in, you know, basically brand new shape. Yeah, so um, yeah, so that's my car. That's what I've done with it so far. Um, if you want to, engage with this, like and subscribe. You can comment. I can't promise I'm gonna answer every comment that is made, um, but yeah, and this is the only time I'll say like and subscribe. But sometimes channels say that a lot, and it kind of gets annoying. So this is the only time I'm gonna say that. If you want to, engage with this and follow along, that's what you can do. I do live in the New York City area, so if you want to, you know, collab in some way, let me know. If there's something with this that you're like excited about. If you want to help me tear down this engine, or you know tear out the one that's in here, whatever, let me know. I'm down. So I also will have some stuff that I am selling. So if you've got a 7M that needs some help of its own, yeah, like let me know and I might be able to help you. So yeah, thanks guys, see ya.